Have you ever found yourself in the middle of an awkward silence? Or if I ask you, when was the last time that you thought that yes, I was not able to make this conversation as rich, as meaningful, and as longer as I wanted to? You start scratching your head, and even before a minute expires, you say, yes, I can recollect it. Wherein I was not able to take the conversation to where I wanted to. Not being able to hold a conversation is a genuine problem that exists and it persists unless you try to find a solution for it. A recent survey suggests that 60% of employers said that lack of communication skills was the number one reason why they considered a lot of prospective candidates not employable. 98% of top salesmen also think that the kind of relationship they had with a customer or a prospective customer was key to getting more business from them. So it is not just about communication skills as a vague word, it's more about the conversation and the ability to hold the conversation and take it to where you want to. But don't worry, today we have got you covered, and today at Chartered Conversationalist we are giving you 9 pointers which can help you build a strong and a meaningful conversation, at the same time give you the authority to take the conversation where you want to. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Number 1, develop varied interests. Yes, a lot of people think that specialization is the key today. I too agree with that. And when you're working, it's good that you are specialized into one thing. But I also have this belief, unless you are a versatile person who is good at least a few things, if not many, then the chances of your success are fairly diminished. If you are able to talk on 10 things because you have 10 different interests, then definitely you are going to be considered a more engaging person. You are going to get a chance to hold a longer conversation and a meaningful and a richer one as well. You will not look out for content to talk to someone because you have something to talk, and there are more chances that somewhere or the other your interests are going to collide with the other person, and that is the point where you take it off and make it a rich and a longer conversation, because now the other person is also contributing. They also like the same thing. It can be anything, but just make an attempt that you have varied interests. Use that versatility in your personality to become an engaging conversationalist. Number 2, be animated. We have all grown up watching cartoons, and we were absolutely hooked to our televisions as soon as we got back home from our schools so that we can catch our favorite cartoon characters on TV. What was so endearing about these cartoon characters that made us forget everything, anything and everything? Even if today if you watch a cartoon, you just feel disconnected from everything and you kind of get into their world and enjoy it. It's animation. It's how they react to circumstances. अगर किसी ने कुछ कह दिया और बुरा लगना है तो they will show a crying face. They will cry like a baby. And if there is something to be excited about, they will jump out, they will smile like anything, they will dance on it. They will be like a child. Point I'm trying to draw here is that when you are a bit animated in a conversation, that animation, that exuberance of energy will make the conversation pretty interesting. Oops. Number 3, be well read. I cannot stress more on the importance of reading a lot, because for the logical reason it gives you a lot to talk on. Essentially, books are putting a lot of information in your head, also a lot of opinion in your head, and conversations are more about opinions rather than about facts. Do not play general knowledge questions on what is the capital of that particular country. You're going to talk about opinions, obviously. I feel like this about this. What do you feel about this? But you're going to have an opinion once you read well. For reading well, make sure you're also not only reading fiction, because fiction is more of entertainment and vocab. But when you read self-help books, like recently I've been reading 5 AM Club. It is giving me an opinion to talk to someone when I can use this thought, then why getting up early in the morning is good. I have been a person who has enjoyed sitting late back at night. Now I have changed because I've read that book. It changed my perspective. and now I can talk to someone about why they should wake up early. I have that opinion at the back of my head to talk to someone. Definitely read the editorial section of newspapers. I read editorial page of ET. It's very helpful. It will help you make an opinion about what's happening. It will tell you both the sides of the story and then not give an opinion anywhere, not give a decision anywhere. It will just give you the arguments and then you can take a call. And it's very important to be updated about what's happening around. Like you should be aware about the daily news, not very specifics, but daily news. Because if you're talking to someone and the other person is just not aware about a very big happening in the country or in the world, then you kind of feel put off. Like you should at least have known this thing. This is like out everywhere. Next, lay open the conversation. Now there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to almost exhaust talking about every random thing that you were talking, but you still don't want the other person to go. You want to hold the conversation. Is there a way out of this, or we have reached an impasse? Definitely there's a way out of it, and the way is to just lay open the conversation as if you were talking to your friend. और बता यार क्या चल रहा है? How was your day? How was your week? Open questions. Just ask them questions about their life. What's happening around? क्या चल रहा है? Life में सब सही है? What about that thing we discussed once? How is that going? What about that person in your life? How is that going? Just start opening the conversation and allow the other person to contribute. Because if you will always make an attempt yourself to contribute again and again, other person is going to get a vibe that he's trying too hard to control or to make the conversation alive, but इसमें कुछ है नहीं ज़्यादा बात. तो इसलिए सारी एनर्जी खुद मत लगाओ. Let the other person contribute the energy in the conversation. Ask some open questions. Next, depth of the conversation. Is your conversation single dimensional or multi-dimensional? Are you only talking about fun things, or you're only talking about sad things, or only ambitious things? But how about a mix of all of this? Depth of the conversation essentially means that you are trying to put a lot of emotions into one conversation. If you're meeting someone and you're only talking about your ambitions, it is going to be very boring. If you're always joking, the other person is going to get a sense that he's never serious. But how about a mix of all of this? He knows when to joke around. He also can talk about serious things. He can also be emotional. When you talk about varied emotions, it kind of creates a depth in the conversation, and the other person is going to have a lot more to think about you after your interaction, which is not going to otherwise happen. So it is always going to benefit you if you try to show more sides of you. Next, joke around. To be able to see the lighter side of a conversation is something that is definitely going to allow you to have a long conversation. Because if you are sitting out with some person for a long time, you are holding a long conversation, and it is all serious, that there's going to be a time where the mind needs some relaxation. How about if you become that source of relaxation? If you look at how Sadhguru and Gaur Gopal Das are able to engage people in long conversations and also on serious topics, because they know that they need to look at the funny side of the things, and hence it's so endearing to listen to both of them, because they keep making their audiences giggle, and hence people want to listen to them for longer hours. अब हम बात करते हैं awkward silences की. Awkward silences. कई बार ऐसा होता है, we are talking to someone and we are thinking, should I initiate the next line of conversation or not? Other person is also thinking the same, and there is an awkward silence. Who should break this awkward silence? कौन करेगा? And in this while you both get a bit uncomfortable. Now how to deal with this? Don't deal with this. That is the solution. Address it. If you are having an awkward silence, talk about that awkward silence as well. Whenever you feel uncomfortable the next time, just talk about it, about what the other person thinks about the awkward silence, and what usually happens in an awkward silence. Ambience cues. Like you reach a point wherein again you are thinking what else to talk on. You don't have a topic to discuss. Talk about what's happening around you. Like for example, if you are in a cafe and there's a baby coming to you, then and if you're with a lady, usually ladies like small babies. You can talk about how cute that baby is, and do you like babies? And you open another layer of communication, another line of conversation which you can take very far. Making the other person realize and bringing them back into the present moment, because a lot of times we are talking about our past or our future, our plans, things, our opinions. But when you talk about things around you, you kind of take the conversation to a place wherein you both are going to have prettier and a brighter memory of that discussion because you are experiencing it together. Look at that, look at this, all it's happening with you. और इस तरीके से सिर्फ आस पास नज़र घुमा के आप एक अच्छी कॉन्वर्सेशन कर सकते हैं. लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, listen expressively. Now, these are two different words. Listen and expressively. I'll help you. Listening expressively means when someone is saying something to you, you essentially reply to them or you show that you are listening to them through your expressions or your words. For example, if someone is telling you something, you either nod to them or do some gestures, or use some non-fluencies like, this is interesting. Really? I was not aware of this. Now this essentially shows that you are listening to the other person rather than just sitting with your hollow eye and a straight face as if you are a Terminator. Another good way is to ask a question out of what they are saying. So it would essentially give them this impression that yes, you were able to make a question only because you were listening to them carefully. Because if at all you want to be a good conversationalist, a good communicator, you need to be a good listener first. We are telling you to go a step forward, not just be a good listener, but also tell them, express them that yes, you were listening to them by telling them, by asking them questions, by saying, nodding, oh, I never knew about this. That's amazing. That's a great piece of information. Expressing that you are listening to them.